Cal Poly Entrepreneurs. If you're here, you're in the right place. If you would look right here, this is our lovely agenda. It's the same every single meeting. We're going to move on. Please text CPE to 56955. That's 56955 for all updates having to do with anything CPE related. Normally it's just meetings, but anytime we have a big event or something that might have been unplanned that we just wanted to throw in there, these are the best ways to get announcements about that. Also, we have a website. If you have not visited this website, do. It's a really cool resource. I know that we have a lot of different things on there, such as BMCs, but the biggest thing that you all might find great, besides our contact info, if you want to ever get a hold of us, is meeting recaps. If you miss a meeting, you can always check out those in case you want to make sure you're brushed up on your entrepreneurial skills. Next up is, if you want to become a member, you can pay $25. You get all of this cool stuff, such as 15% off event discounts, which apply to tours, which is something we might be talking about later, wink wink. CPE t-shirts, which are in and of itself worth the $25, so you're really getting a lot more value out of it than you think, because you're also getting a sticker, which is pretty cool. Beyond that, you also get priority registration on all big events that we do. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. If anyone wants to do that, come talk to any of the officers after the meeting. Next up is we have ideation workshops and book club. Ideation workshops happen every other Tuesday, and book club happens every other Tuesday. And Jack's actually going to talk a little bit about ideation workshops, because that's what's happening tonight.
Yeah, so we, as Jack said, we're having our ideation workshop tonight, and if you guys weren't here for our last meeting, this is somewhere where you can work with fellow CPEers to come up with ideas, work on your pitching skills, and get started working on an idea that just might be your million-dollar business. So show up tonight. We baked up a whole bunch of cookies to fuel up your idea. I saw a lot of people look up just now. So, yeah, they're free. So show up. And also, if you guys were at the last one, or if you plan to come to this one, take a picture of that link and fill out the survey. It takes like 2 minutes, but just so we can kind of understand what you guys would like to see in future ideation workshops, how we can make them better. Thank you, guys.
Cool. All right, and next up, we have Joanne to actually talk about the hatchery. So, Joanne.
Hi. Thank you. I'm Joanne Feeney, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you all tonight. I've met a few of you, but not most of you. I just started about a week ago as the Director of Innovation Programs here. So I'm going to be here in that office most of the time. And then during the summer, I'm going to be at the Hot House for the Accelerator. So, in the hatchery, what we've been doing is we've been helping students learn real-life entrepreneurial skills. We're connected with a lot of mentors and entrepreneurs who have done this in their life. And then I'm going to be talking about the Accelerator and what the Accelerator is about and how to apply for it on March 14th and April 9th. And just so you know a little bit about me, not much, but just a little bit to whet your appetite, hopefully, to come and see me. But I have recently worked for a startup in San Luis Obispo, and it's a medical reporting software startup. So it sounds kind of specific, but I come from a biotech and pharmaceutical background and have worked with some international companies like Eli Lilly and Company and GlaxoSmithKline, and I'm also a patent attorney. So I have everything but the degree, everything but the dissertation for a PhD in biology. So it's kind of an unusual combination, and I love talking to the students about their ideas and all different types of technology and what you might be able to do with them and help connect them. So it's nice meeting you all. Thank you for allowing me to introduce you.
And with that, I believe we have trivia. Yes, we do.
That's my favorite part of the week.
This is what he
This is what I live for. Okay, this cookie company does more than 800 million sales a year, more than Oreo. John?
Girl Scout.
Yeah, Girl Scout. I read that today and I was like, no way. All right, this kind of ties in. What is the #1 selling Girl Scout cookie?
Thin Mints?
Yeah, Thin Mints. Okay, ready? Everybody watch out. Oh, that was good. Okay, this one isn't for a little keychain thing because you should all know this. What is a unicorn? Unicorn?
Company that reached over $1 billion in value.
Yeah. Okay. Now this last question is a little bit of a twist on that. What is a minotaur? Yeah. What is a minotaur? Yeah.
A company that reaches over $1 billion in funding.
Yeah. Yeah. They had to come up with a new word. Isn't that crazy? Cool. There's trivia.
All right. Next up, I'm pretty sure is Yoav. You want to talk about the tour?
Hi guys, my name is Yoav Nissan. I'm a first year business administration student, and after 2 prolonged years, I wanted to bring back the slow Copla tour. So if you guys are kind of stressed out because of midterms and want to network with executives and CEOs and potentially see some job opportunities locally, then join us for the Slow Copla tour, which is taking place this Friday, March 1st. It's gonna be starting at 9 a.m. and you're gonna be able to get a diverse field from different companies in the different industries such as the beverage, real estate, transportation, and hold up, just a second. One more. Real estate. Oh, drone industry. There we go. Sorry. And pretty much what I intended to do is to create a diverse field of companies that we're going to be going to and have fun seeing these different companies. And if you guys want to sign up, you guys should sign up quickly. The barcode is here, as well as the link in the bio in the Instagram and in the email previously sent yesterday night. And there's a few spots left, so sign up. And in order to secure a spot, you gotta pay. Yeah.
Thanks, Yoav. We have an interesting opportunity for you today. Sierra's going to talk to you about Dozuki.
Boom, boom. You guys can tell I worked really hard on the slide.
Oh, yeah.
So I come to you tonight with a non-CPE related opportunity. My work is hiring, and I think it's a really cool office. It's here in SLO. We came out of iFixit, the startup that started like 15 years ago on campus, and we're hiring for a couple other positions. We're going to be at Startup Career Fair as well, but we're hiring for like our sales team, our marketing team, maybe some development positions, and then also for document conversion. I'm not going to go too in depth because I want to get on to our meeting tonight, but if you know that you're interested in either like a full-time or a part-time job, screenshot that so you can go ahead and email me and ask for questions. I'll also stick around at the end of the meeting tonight. But yeah, if you're looking for work in an awesome place to go, almost every day to earn some money, that's a great opportunity.
Sierra, what's another awesome place we could go to?
San Diego! So, an actual CPE-related announcement. How many of you guys already know you're thinking about going on this tour?
Oh,
It's not
heck
this
yeah.
Friday, but next Friday.
I'll be there.
Hells yeah! We're gonna get twice the amount of hands up by next week. So our corporate tour or our startup tour to San Diego is happening Friday, March 8th, and it's gonna be a fun one. I don't think we've ever traveled that far. But basically what we're gonna do is Friday morning, super freaking early, like 3:30 a.m. We're gonna leave from the pack, and you guys will all have rides if you sign up, so don't worry, we've got cars figured out. But you'll leave from the pack, and we're gonna drive down to San Diego. We'll get breakfast, kind of refuel ourselves, because we've been up for like 6 hours already. And then we visit 4 different companies, really cool startup companies. They're not listed there, but yeah, if you get our email announcements, they're listed in there. But yeah, so it's really cool. We visit 4 different startup companies. We talk to like the CEOs and the high-level execs. We give you guys lunch, and then we all sleep over after that. You know, like a big old slumber party in San Diego.
With champagne.
Really cool, fun opportunity. If you are a VIP member, sign-ups are open for you. An email went out to you tonight, and it's $50 for you, and that includes like gas and all the cool stuff. And then $60 for non-VIP members, and that will open up, I believe, tomorrow for you guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, come talk to me afterwards. You have a question now.
Saturday as a day look like?
Saturday, it's kind of optional depending on, like, we have a couple cars going, so if you want to hang out in San Diego, we can fit you in a car with, like, people who want to stay in San Diego on Saturday, hang out. Or if you have to get back to SLO, we can send you up in a car that's going back early. So, any other questions right now? I know it's a lot of information. Okay, great, cool, awesome. Oh,
What's the deadline to sign up?
the deadline to sign up is whenever they fill up. So, which they usually do in about 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, historically, they're filled up by the next meeting.
Yeah.
So,
So if you are a VIP member, like hop on that before tomorrow, and you secure your spot by paying. And then if you're not a VIP member, sign-ups will open for you tomorrow and get on it fast.
Yeah, just so you know, stress that point, you have to pay to secure your spot, else you don't have a spot. Okay?
That's great, I love it, it's fun.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
Woo!
thanks. I think that that's all the announcements that we have, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, there's one more. Innovation Quest. Cool. Innovation Quest, the last workshop for it is happening while I'm getting my teeth worked on, which is great. But it's March 7th, and that's how I remember it. So from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in this room on Thursday, March 7th, which is a week and a half from now, will be the last workshop for Innovation Quest. How many of you are thinking about applying for Innovation Quest? Actually, show of hands. Okay, like about 30% of you. So this workshop will be really important. If you have any questions whatsoever to go over, that's essentially what this workshop is for. I would block out time for at least one member of your group to go to this. If you have an interest in Innovation Workshop and you didn't have a team, and you don't actually want to do it this year, this would be a good time to establish relationships with the guy who runs it. So if you actually are interested in potentially doing Innovation Quest at a later date, I would talk to Tom Katona at this meeting as well. Cool. That's all the announcements that I have. So, next up is our speaker, who is wonderful and awesome, and he wants to talk to you about sustainability, startups that he's working with, as well as all of his plethora of experience with entrepreneurship. So, give a round of applause for J.D. Collins.
So I graduated from Cal Poly back in 2000 in ag business, and ended up when I got here wasn't entirely certain what direction I was going to go, but was fortunate enough to land a job actually in the food industry and somewhat tied to agriculture. So my first job was with Cliff Bar. I spent a lot of years there when they were first starting. So I kind of cut my teeth there, and then now working for another startup still in the food industry. So I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship and all the things that you guys are doing. When I was a student here, this wasn't an opportunity. So it's awesome to see so many people turning out for for something like this. So I have two things to share with you tonight. One of which a business I'm invested in that is with a friend of mine who's will be kind of the founder, CEO. And then the second business is one that I created kind of on the side that I don't have the time to really dedicate, to making it what I can envision it being. So the first one's more of an opportunity for you to kind of collaborate with your other classmates and support more on a packaging side, sustainable packaging. And the other would be just a business that I would hand over, provide some capital to, and then you and however many co-founders, would essentially steer the ship and run the business. So the first one is this North Of concept. So this is a beverage line that will be launching in the fall. So this is with my friend who's a former buyer at Target. Spent many years there buying locally for food and beverage, and also had many years in supply chain management. So he's based in Minneapolis. I live in Healdsburg, which is a small town about an hour north of San Francisco. So we just put San Francisco in there because nobody knows where Healdsburg is. So that's that. So North Of, what we're building is really two things. One, a truly clean, organic, upgraded vitamin water of sorts. So the concept is that many people, especially as they get older, are deprived of kind of a core chunk of vitamins. And so we have found a sustainable source that is certified organic, plant-based, so like a true supplement that you would want to give to a child, to your grandmother, of really high quality. So the concept is we are going to launch with an adult line beverage, and that will be happening, like I said, in the fall on Amazon as well as some retail business. The challenge that we're facing is that our industry is got loads of plastic, loads of just terrible packaging out there. So what we're looking for is someone to develop a paper bottle in an 8 to 12 ounce format. I met with the folks from Polymer a little bit ago, and we're also discussing using the algae as kind of the protective barrier inside of the paper bottle. So the dream would be that Cal Poly would create and then we would essentially work together to put this package on the shelf. We're going to launch in glass initially, but the hope is that you guys would be able to work together to create a paper bottle that would be 100% compostable. The cap, the label would be a soy-based ink and also 100% compostable. So I forget the name of the department, ITP, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
industrial tech and packaging.
Yeah, so whether that's some of you in here or you guys are passionate about that and working together, that's really what we're looking for. Is initial concept is going to be an 8 to 12 ounce bottle. We will have the mold for you that you guys could essentially replicate, but it would be in a paper material as opposed to glass. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. Okay, so that's really what this is all covering here, which I already covered. This is a mock-up for a company out in Germany who's going to be launching this in 2024 that we found. Beautiful design, beautiful package, everything 100% compostable. I, like I said, have invested some money. My colleague has also put in and also raised some money. So we are now finalizing all the creative with an agency that I know very well, having worked with them for a long time based in Healdsburg. So we'll have everything ready to go in a few months. So John is the guy that I was speaking of that's the former Target buyer, and he's really driving this. I have a full-time job, so I'm not able to dedicate the same amount of time that he is. So so that's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, and then if you have more later, then myself or John would be happy to chat with you about North of. Fire away.
Yeah, I just want to add something. So I spoke with John, and he knows that JD came and gave this pitch about his company, and he's really interested in getting some students to work on this. So if you do reach out to John, kind of mention like, hey, I heard about this opportunity. I'm with the Cal Poly entrepreneurs, and that'll kind of get your foot in the door too. So really leverage this club, guys. You can totally do it.
Go ahead.
I had a question because you were saying that you wanted a paper bottle.
Yep.
Did you look into like cartons at all? About cartons, that's like paper.
Yep. Yeah. Certainly, we've looked in the Tetra Pak. It's not as compostable in the amount of time that we're hoping. Right now, paper can biodegrade in 80 days. The Tetra Pak is made up of other materials that take a little bit longer. So, and obviously the innovation piece, we're really hoping when you walk into Lassen's or you walk into the campus store and you see a package that you created on the shelf, it will certainly differentiate compared to all the other, GT's kombucha in glass and a lot of the plastic bottles of sorts. So, so it would be super cool to have, Cal Poly kind of creating this package and seeing it not only on Amazon, but across the country. Yeah. Any other questions?
I was just curious about when you have liquid in a bottle that's biodegradable,
Yep.
how long can you just have that bottle sitting like in a pantry before, like it's not gonna biodegrade on its own, is it?
That would be awesome if we knew that it could biodegrade at some point with the liquid in it. But yeah, we're testing on that. I mean, that's really what Brandon and his team would be looking at. They're doing the necessary work right now to shelf life test, to make sure that the efficacy of the product is still there. Obviously, it's going to take some time for us, but in a perfect world, the product is shelf stable and it holds for 6 months, 9 months to a year. So we'll do all that testing to make sure. It's a good question.
So the biodegrading isn't, activated until it's out in the environment where like there's moisture and stuff coming from the outside and starting that process?
Yep. So do you want to?
Yeah. So our product, so we make like a waterproof laminate coating, and typically it's more susceptible to enzymatic degradation from like microbes in the environment. So once you start drinking from it, then that will more like accelerate the shelf life. Okay. Yeah. And we're doing what they call accelerated weathering tests on our films to test the degradation rate.
Awesome. Good to have an expert, in the room when I'm trying to answer it, but you got a scientist sitting, a few seats away. So, so that's it. Any other questions? All makes sense? Yeah, go ahead.
So, any ideas on where you plan to manufacture these bottles?
Yeah, so we're looking at co-packers really only here in the United States. In terms of the bottling, we're working right now with Berlin Packaging, which is in Northern California. If we make a custom mold, that would be made overseas. If we go with a stock mold, then it would be made here in the United States. So we're obviously trying to do everything we can from a sourcing standpoint, not just on packaging, but on ingredients to keep it, in the U.S. But it will be certified USDA organic, so just depending on how much access we have to that, those supplies is going to determine where we go. Yes.
So when you're looking at like mass manufacturing and like these companies that are using plastic and glass, I'm assuming that's going to be a little bit cheaper than what you're doing.
A lot cheaper.
So then, how does that like play into like how you're designing this product and how you plan to mass manufacture it?
Yeah, I mean the main thing is when we launch the product, our margins need to be good enough to where once we make the transition to paper, they can absorb that without adjusting at retail. So super good question. Yeah, right now, glass we're looking at is 30 to 40 cents a unit. So we're hoping that the paper will somewhere between 50 to 60 cents a unit. So we're factoring that into how we build out our COGS for the beverages. Yeah.
Why wouldn't someone just drink vitamin emergency or vitamin supplement like that?
So depending how like nerdy you guys are, I'm super into ingredients and sourcing and how clean something is and what I'm drinking or eating and what is truly in the product. I'll never say anything bad about Emergency or other companies that are out there, but I would just encourage you to do the research and look at the food and beverages that you guys consume on a daily basis and see what's in there. Having been in the food and beverage industry for 16 years, there's a lot of really solid marketing that's done, and I would just encourage you to read up on what's going into the products that you guys are consuming. Yeah.
How have you tested how much other people care about that?
That's a really good question. It's having been focused on organic my entire career, it's more of like a awareness to what's going on in the industry, going to trade shows, things like that. There's certainly data available out there that people are becoming more aware, less people shopping at conventional grocery stores, going to places like Lassen's or stopping, trying not to eat Taco Bell every night. I know it's, different stages of your life when you have different budgets, you have to make certain decisions to prioritize food and beverages. But everything that we've done up until this point has really pushed us towards an opportunity for us to do something above and beyond in terms of health and now sustainability. So there's, say 10% of the companies in consumer packaged goods that are actually like doing all the work to build something better for everybody. And now it's not just on the product side, it's on the packaging side. So fingers crossed that, your generation, people continue to realize that your health is, really something that you can, control by taking care of yourself, eating exercises. You guys know the deal. So, anything else? One more. Here we go.
You showed that cool looking mock-up of the German company that made that bottle. Do you know more about what that's made out of, what they did to develop that?
Yeah, they were pretty secretive when I reached out to them, but it's apparently 100% post-consumer paper. It's a recycled paper. I don't know what the lining is. The cap's actually made of paper as well. It's like a beer top where just a twist top. So hard to say, but I think with what Brandon's working on, there's something really special there, because obviously the question that you came up with in terms of is the product still going to be, effective after it's sat on the shelf, that's really, I think, the hopefully the secret sauce of Polymer. So, good? Cool. All right. This is number 2. Bamboo. All right, so here's just quickly with this. I'm obviously bald, and none of you guys are dealing with that yet, but if you ever get to that point and it's really cold outside, you get super cold super fast. So like I said, I'm a hippie at heart. I bought a mattress a long time ago that's made of wool and bamboo, and been sleeping on it for a long time, super comfortable. The wool is probably more because of my OCD with antimicrobial, so a lot of the benefits of wool is the fluctuation in temperature. Someone who sleeps very warm, the bed stays quite cool. And so I thought to myself, this is a super cool bed, I sleep well every night, I'm going to create a line of beanies and ultimately gloves and moccasins that are made of those two materials. So this is whatever you want to turn it into. Bamboo was just like a kind of obviously connection of the two words. I just pulled this thing off of clip art or something like that. So, but anyways, that's the concept. Change the name, keep it. I don't care what you do with it. It's yours to kind of take and run with. I've invested $10,000 so far to kind of get some prototypes made, meet with some manufacturers, get the facilities in line. I'm willing to put more money into it. It's just a question of who's passionate about, beanies, gloves, and moccasins. So this, like I said, it's obviously applicable to someone who has no hair. It's also super cool for children and babies and people that need something comfortable to wear during the cold days. So I put just a picture here of a bamboo forest and some wool. I brought the prototypes in for you guys to just kind of pass around, and you can feel them and see See what you guys think. Some are a little more feminine than others. The sizing tags are still on there, so you guys can see kind of what they look like. And then I have a bunch of simpler patterns. These are the two materials.
We vibe, boys.
The bamboo and the
It's nice. I like it. Hey, at least I'm comfortable.
Here's a few more that have some visible ones.
Oh, the white.
This is pretty nice.
So we'll get some feedback from you guys after I finish up these last two slides, just so you see what the opportunity is here. So I put together like a one-page business plan and whatever. It's fine for now, but really the goal would be for someone to create a business plan, finalize sourcing and manufacturing. I can certainly help you with some of those introductions with the folks I've already met. Obviously create a direct-to-consumer website, so we can sell everything via our website as well as on Etsy. As you know, I work in retail, so I have relationships with REI, I have relationships with, many of the sports retail folks. And then long-term is obviously you would have your own business and have majority control. I would not be involved in the business day-to-day. I would be more of an advisory board member and investor. So the resources, that pretty much is what I've already covered. And then that's it. So like I said, the gloves and the moccasins goes back to the concept of generally you lose so much of your heat through your hands, your head, and your feet. So imagine in the moccasins something like boots, but way more comfortable and sustainable. And then with the gloves as well, either mittens or 5-finger gloves, same materials. In terms of the sustainability and the sourcing, living in the Bay Area, there's tons of farms, and I know there's a lot down here, but there's literally loads of sheep farms. So in terms of sourcing organic wool, I've spoken with a few people up there. If you wanted to source in California, that's certainly an option. Bamboo, I don't know if you guys have been to like the Bamboo Batu retail store here in San Luis Obispo, but they have a ton of t-shirts and other products and things like that. Would also be a great place to kind of get some feedback from them. But as I'm sure you guys can tell, super soft material. In terms of like, I've washed them, I've worn them to bed. You don't get like the kind of itchy feeling that you do with more of like a fleece or a wool beanie. The wool actually wicks the sweat a little bit off when you have gone on runs, and you don't have that same kind of sweat and residual moisture when you're out exercising. So super effective product. Obviously cool that it's something unique and combining two pretty easily accessible materials. And do what you want with it. It's yours to take. So that's it.
So I'm sure that if any of you have any questions or you would like to take hold of business, JD will be around for a little while longer if you have any questions. Other than that, we also have a brief activity that we actually thought of that sort of combines both of these aspects. One of the backgrounds that JD didn't mention, but that he's been heavily involved in, is also sales. And one of the things that we want some of you all to get experience in is actually selling and pitching. That's one of the things that goes way back to like last quarter. So if everyone could get around a team or table, I think there's 4 tables in here, but there's 2 more at the back. If everyone could get their own table, get their own team, and start doing a little bit of research on these, we're gonna have everyone do a quick pitch, sales pitch on these companies, and what makes them sustainable and unique in the market. Yeah.
In fact, if you haven't, I'm a little concerned where you're getting your reading content. But as all of you probably know, we have a serious CO2 problem in our atmosphere. There are currently over 1 billion combustion vehicles worldwide, and each one of those on average produces 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year. And that's in addition to all of the CO2 we generate from power production, concrete construction generation, many different sources of CO2. So Tesla is aiming to reduce the impact of both of those through a 2-pronged approach. First, through how we consume power. Most of you are probably familiar with Tesla's line of electric vehicles. The reason we have produced those is because the thought being, if we can reduce our reliance on vehicles that are powered through combustion methods, you're more able to transition away from the second cause of CO2 generation, which is power generation. In addition to our vehicle lineup, Tesla also has invested significant amount of capital in utilities. They have a SolarCity subsidiary which installs residential solar power at homes across the country. And they also are responsible for both at-home battery packs that are able to store electricity for discharging throughout the day to help alleviate surge usage in electricity, which is often causes more, or which is often more harmful on the environment. And additionally, they will install solar packs at a utility level, which can enable companies to store insane amounts of power for consumption across cities and even entire states. So yeah, Tesla looking to reduce CO2 throughout the world by accelerating the world's transition to sustainable transportation.
Chris.
Story. Think, oh, they look good. Then you're wearing them at home. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel confident. That's because you weren't wearing a pair of Levi's. We actually have someone in our group not wearing not only a pair of Levi jeans, but a stylish Levi jacket. Levi's is a brand that's associated with being stylish, being comfy, and being damn right durable. When you buy a pair of Levi's, you're investing in yourself. You know that pair of Levi's is going to last you for, who knows, 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Buy a pair of Levi's, invest in yourself.
Alright, so coffee tastes good and it has caffeine, but it isn't always produced sustainably. Yerba Mate gives you the kick that coffee does and tastes even better. It's also made from post-consumer materials and uses certified organic, non-GMO ingredients from small-scale farmers. Yerba Mate reconnects you with the vitality of life without harming the vitality of this planet.
All right, so Patagonia. You know, it's like active sportswear. A lot of people wear it when they go hiking. I personally used several Patagonia products. They're nice. But you may be wondering, are these products made ethically and are they sustainable? And the answer is yes, because it's Patagonia. And that's one of their big goals. So, first of all, they have an entire page on their website dedicated to all sorts of things, and we're going to focus first on just the materials. So they have a whole lot of different fibers and stuff that they use that are sustainable. So first they mention hemp, organic cotton, and then they have a whole bunch of recycled materials like nylon, polyester, wool, and down. And they even have this weird thing I haven't even heard of called Lyocell. And I looked into it, and it turns out it's like wood and cotton kind of mixed together. And they somehow managed to make all their super high quality products out of these materials, and they're all sustainable. But in addition to the materials that they use, they also have a program called Warnware, which is, once somebody who maybe bought it at full price has said, okay, we're done with this Patagonia product, you're able to put it back into this program called Warnware, and people who maybe don't have as much can go in and reuse it. So Patagonia is basically, they want to have responsibility for the entire product lifestyle, not just getting it to the consumer, but afterwards as well.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm sure all of you have heard of Cliff Bar before, and I'm sure you've had many of their delicious flavors. But what you probably didn't know a little bit about Cliff Bar is that they are very focused on sustainability. In two ways, actually. One is the product itself, and the other is the company. So first, the product. They are all organic, USDA certified, and their packaging. They have purposely reduced their packaging by 25,000 pounds of packaging per year. And then the next is how they run the company. They recently switched to all biodiesel for their trucks that transport all of their products, and they offered $500 to all of their employees to buy a bike in order to commute to work, so that they don't have to spend gas and pollute the environment.
Cool.
Yeah, flex on
Thank you.
this bar.
Interested in, I should say ideation workshops. If you're interested in the ideation workshop, please meet afterwards. Otherwise, thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful
Sign up for the local tour on Friday.